Hear the Dark Brandon reaction after the White House tries to rebrand the president. Cringe taken to a new level? Definitely.
Never thought I would agree with Faulkner, but I definitely agree. This is pretty cringy. And it started off ironically, and unfortunately, Biden supporters went into the territory of genuine posting of these Dark Brandon memes. Now, the Dark Brandon meme, again, was originally an internet meme intended to make fun of Joe Biden, but now it's being used to celebrate him. Dark Brandon originates from Dark MAGA, the super cringy meme from a few months back when Biden referred to MAGA as Dark MAGA, and it actually sounded a little cool, and they decided to run with it, and they put out all these memes of Donald Trump in their minds looking super cool. And so here's another one, very.
If you've seen the laser eyes on internet, that's what it is. That's the dark meme, okay? They used to do it just for Trump, now they're doing it for Biden.
It's cringy no matter what, please stop doing it. The only time it's not cringy is when it's being used ironically.
No, that's what I was gonna say. To be fair, when they started Dark Brandon, it was actually really funny because it was like Biden was gonna put an end to all the malarkey. And it's already funny. And the idea that Joe Biden is some sort of like political killer is hilarious. That's why it started funny. Now there's like massive Biden fans, like the Hal Sparks of the world. We're like, oh
my God, Hal Sparks.
Oh my God, Biden is so tough. But there's actually a real underlying point here. People are now unironically loving Dark Brandon. Dark Brandon's an ass kicker and doesn't care about anything, and will break the rules to go punish Republicans, right? And to fight back and to get things done. The reason why it's popular is because Joe Biden doesn't do any of that stuff. And Democratic voters are yearning for someone on their side who would actually fight back like they're supposed to when they're the head of the party.
Yeah, so let's go to graphic 5 here. In its original usage, Dark Brandon was highly ironic, with the memes mostly joking about Biden's perceived senility and inability to act in a forceful, dramatic ways, depicted in Dark Brandon memes. Yet somehow over the past few weeks, it's become a rallying cry for liberals to praise their beloved leader, right? So here's an example. In 2 weeks, Dark Brandon beat COVID. Did he beat COVID? Did he beat COVID, or did we just stop talking about COVID and we started to pretend like it doesn't exist?
He beat COVID in the last 2 weeks. Before, but then Dark Brandon came in and laser-eyed the malarkey out of COVID just in the last 2 weeks.
Oh God.
Okay, and what else did he do?
He beat climate change, that's it.
Oh, that's climate change is over.
Accomplished.
I didn't know that. That also happened. The last 2 weeks has been great weeks.
He beat gas prices.
Beat gas prices to a pulp. Take this.
Gas prices have gone down a little bit from the insane astronomical high that we've been experiencing.
You know why? He laser-eyed them.
It's still super high. Okay. It's still high, but more. He beat Al Qaeda. He leveled all the way up, and now he's on the last level of Mar-a-Lago, beating the final boss.
Okay, so that one's like slightly kidding around, right? I've seen super serious ones from Biden fans where they're like, oh, he did this and he created this many jobs. But my favorite is the Al Qaeda one. They're like, he bravely said yes, bomb the leader of Al Qaeda. Is that really brave? Isn't that like the most obvious thing in the world? Could you imagine he was like, we finally have the guy who actually, by the way, was the real mastermind behind Al Qaeda, Osama bin Laden's number 2 guy, Ayman al-Zawahiri, who's now was the current leader of Al Qaeda. That's a real 9/11 leader. Is that a hard decision for a president? That's like the easiest decision in the world. They're like, but Dark Brandon laserized him with his courage.
Was it brave when he said that he would make Saudi Arabia, in particular Mohammed bin Salman, a pariah, and then proceeded to beg Saudi Arabia to drill for more fossil fuels?
No, you didn't get it. Dark Brandon laserized himself in the mirror. That's how tough Dark Brandon is.
Okay.
He Kaiser Soze himself in that one.
Can we just like address how wrong it is to turn these politicians who disappoint us over and over again into heroes.
Dude, they kept the private equity loophole. So dark, Brandon.
Ooh.
Laser ice the bankers to give them even more money.
Like, we need to have higher expectations. That's all I'm saying. Like, we need to have some standards here. That's the thing that's like really getting to me when it comes to voters on both sides. Like the insanely low standards. We're not winning with these low standards. Must have higher standards. Okay, would you let your daughter date this dark Brandon character?
What a weird, is that what we're worried about? That your daughter's gonna go out with no malarkey dark Brandon?
I'm just trying to communicate this in a more personal way, right? Because I think people are like actually a little detached from what's going on in the country because they see it as like a sporting event. Yeah. Politics is just a sporting event, right? No, this isn't a sporting event. These are people who make decisions that literally impact our day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
So have better standards. Higher, aim higher.
And by the way, look, in the last month or so, has there been good news for Joe Biden? Yeah, sure, there has. Right, like the 528,000 jobs. That was a big number. great, wonderful, happy to see it, right? So just be real on the upsides and the downsides. But that bill that everybody's going, historic bill, the lowering inflation and debt and every other thing, and we're the champions of the world bill, right? It's 5% change. It's the same 5% we always get. If that's what dark Brandon is, he's gonna have to get a lot darker.
I mean, would a kick-ass politician not know how to pronounce the name of his HHS secretary who he appointed himself? He keeps calling him Javier Baccaria. I'm not kidding.
Why? You know why? Because that's what dark Brandon would do. Dark Brandon doesn't say your name right. He says it wrong on purpose.
That's right, Baccaria.
Take that, Baccaria, okay? And dark Brandon doesn't just attack the other guys, he attacks his own guys. Because he's dark Brandon.
Joey, baby.
Oh, I know where dark Brandon, I know his origin story. He once met a guy named Corn Pop. And it turned him into dark Brandon. He wrapped this metal chain around his arm and he said, Corn Pop, you better get out of here, huh? And then he went, Zzz.
How crazy is it that ended up being a real story? Like, I just can't get over that.
Yeah, that was actually the most surprising thing that's ever happened in politics, when the Corn Pop story turned out to be true.